Good morning. Going to tackle filing more of these patterns, but I wanted to share how I've stored my booklets and a short update of where I put, they're like 3-ring binders is what they are. So let me show you where they're at in here. Turn on some lights. I've shared my closet before. It's always in process, especially when you buy as much as I do. I think I mentioned in a previous floss tube, or could have been a quilt tube, can't remember. I wanted to try and get the framed type things, off to the side. I can still get them down, I have my ladder here, so I put most of the things that like you find at the stores and say, oh, this might make a cute frame when you finish a piece, or so those are basically up there in the corner in the teal boxes and the red boxes. You can probably see the sled that's up there for a finish, but I wanted to clear this area so I could take my 3-ring binders that have, crochet, sewing, cross stitch, quilting, all those kind of patterns that you find online in print or get copies of, or like the quilt pattern, best loved quilt pattern books. Those were given to me from a friend that her mother had them and she wanted to pass them on. So I took them, and besides those books, all my other books behind the ladder here, hooking, crochet, past like calendar books that I've filled out if I want to go back and reference things, those are all in here. I also had space on this side because I needed a bigger shelf to put the rest of my knitting and other pattern books here. So I tried to clean that off and take things out that weren't getting used. These are still things besides what was in that cart in the hallway. They're like page fillers and things that you can put and use into the notebooks. So those need to get sorted as well. These are just some really large books that don't fit on the shelves. So I've got them laying flat on this bottom shelf above my craft drawers. So then when I took them out of this cupboard, it left these all empty, which I tried to use wisely. This is an EPP project that I'm wanting to work on, but I've got one in process, so this will be the second one that I try to do. Up here is all my pre-cuts. What are they called? Little charm, small square one, 2-inch ones, as well as my 5-inch ones are up there, and then I have a few rolls of 2.5-inch strips. These are just sewing supplies, mostly pencils, things that I use when I'm sewing. And then the other side, I'll have to walk around, I think, though. Go over there. This room is a mess because I'm still trying to record quilt stuff and haul kind of things, but I have fabric fat quarters bundles up on the top, and then like I said, just a few knickknacks and tools. These are all safety pins for quilting, iron things that I can easily find, because if I can see it, I won't forget where I put it. That's kind of the idea. And that's kind of what I'm keeping in these cupboards, which kind of help clear off, like in behind here, doesn't look so clustered. These buttons are going to go in here. I have empty ones of these that I'm going to fill with buttons and get rid of this plastic container. And then I just keep my rulers behind here so it's not so cluttered. These are my IPPs, which are in-process projects for being kitted. I'll just keep a basket there and just kind of keep this area a little neater, so if I need to craft or something, I have a surface there for that. And it helped clean off my desk a little. It's not so clustered here. And I'm going to turn around kind of being embarrassed, but still have lots of sorting to do. All these DMCs were given to me. Whoops, I don't want to get them confused with ones that I'm keeping separate. But I need to decide, you know, I mean, do you all keep, this is ridiculous, just little amounts like this? And if you do, how do you store them? I'm kind of at a quandary how to go about it. But, you know, full skeins and stuff, I plan to get this a little better organized and store all those up there. The lady that gave me all this stuff was her aunt's, and she went through it and figured maybe it was something I could use. So I appreciate her thinking of me, because I can always use DMC, because I am one that kits, and I don't share floss in projects. I mean, if it requires a DMC, I probably have 10 projects with 310 in it or something like that. That's kind of how I do it. I just not gotten to the point where I keep all my floss in one place and share it with other projects. They all get their own individual. A few things that I've added to, because in all of that stuff that was given to me, there was tons of thimbles. So I have a thimble collection now. And then, like, these are Cosmo. These are the DMC metallics. You know, they used to be like this, but when you use them in a project, I tend to put them on floss drops. So I'm trying to decide how to store those kind of flosses. This was being empty. It's actually a jewelry holder. Turn on a light here. But Roxy Floss Co. Evertote, her floss drops actually fit perfect on here. So what I might do is just, as I get them, I'll keep the name side out, and I'll probably just keep like all the greens on one, and get some reds, yellows, and just kind of use this as my, because when I kit, I don't tend to go, unless it's a called for, you know, I'll look for it, but I tend to go by what the color is on the pattern and match it up that way. So I think this will come in handy for that. Of course, my sewing threads. But all the stuff up here is, I need to sort through and put away, but I don't like to put it away until I've shared it on my floss tubes. So that's kind of what's laying around. Once it's all put away, then this area will look nice and neat. And this is kind of where I do my cutting. So always sorting something, but that's kind of where we're at with the organization in my craft room currently.